Now I'm going to cover forms. Forms are driven by a plugin. So if we go into plugins and FS contact form, we will come to the settings for the forms. Currently we're using two forms, one for contact us page, which is form 1, and one for employees members page, which is form 2. And let's go briefly over some of the fields here. The welcome introduction we are not using, leaving it blank. This is the text that shows up right above the form. So for example, if you were to use it on a page where there's no other text but the form, you would put in here something like, please fill out the form below to get the latest information on blah blah blah. So since we have our own custom text, we are not using this field. Then followed by the email address of the person who's receiving all the inquiries sent through the forms. Going down, autoresponder, you can enable this option so the people who are submitting inquiries through the forms on the site can receive an auto email back saying either thank you, like it says here, or anything else that you would like it to say. Always make sure to change the address of the person and to which email address that person can reply, or you can remove it altogether if you do not want people to reply. Going back, you also have an option to set up capture if you do want to make sure that no robots are submitting forms and you're just getting blasted with a big volume of pointless information, really. Going down right here, this is where all the fields are set up. We disable the default fields in the form since we do have more than 4 and we're using them in a specific order. So as you can see, we have the first name field here set up as a text for the file type. It is a required field, so we check the box here. Also, we have some code in here to manage how the form and the labels show up. So going down again, last name is a required field. Make sure that if you have a field for an email address, the field type is set to email. It is a required field. We also have a code that we are inserting in here in the regex fail message to make sure that the form is being validated for the email address. So if the person inserts an address that is missing an @ symbol or a .com ending, they will get a message saying that you have to put in the right information. So going down, we are not using any of these fields. The data export fields are used for compiling data into the database. So the first window here, we're listing some of the columns in the table that we do not want to see. And the second field here, this is where we're basically renaming the labels for the columns used in the table by default. So instead of seeing X field 1, we are going to see first name for the column. Some of the settings that could be used to change the way the form looks, but this is basically used for forms that are not customized to look a specific way. Since we are making our form look like the design, we are not using any of these settings. In the following section here, the only field we're using is the asterisk to indicate fields that are required. And let's see, and this is the error messages that people get when they input incorrect information. So again, we have the code for the error messages and the actual error message here. Both forms are set up exactly the same at this point, but you can make changes if you'd like to make it more customized. Also right here, you will see a shortcode. This is a shortcode you have to copy and paste to insert the form on the page. So this is employee members page, so if we go under pages, click on employees members page, you will see the shortcode for the form inserted in the body of the text. So if you insert it, just click update, or if you change the name of the form, if you're using a different form number, just click to make sure that the right form shows up on the page. So if we go back into the settings, let's look at the database. Click on database right here. The drop down menu will let you choose which form you want to show. Right now I don't think we had anybody submit any information through the employees members form, so maybe we could, as an example, do that. Let's do employee members page, fill in some information. And click submit. You will also see the thank you message that shows up after the form is successfully submitted. And let's go into here. I will show you where that message is set up. Scroll all the way to the bottom. And this is the message that shows up after the person submits the form. So let's go back to the database. Now, since we submitted through the employees members page, this form shows up. And as you can see, we will see the new information here. Everything that was submitted. Now, to export the information, you have to choose a format, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet or a Google spreadsheet. Click on export and save the file to your computer.